Hello, Houston. It's time for the Catholic Lunch Break on the St. Cyril and Methodius feast day. Not St. Valentine's Day, St. Cyril and Methodius. They always get the short end of the stick. No, I'm just joking. It is St. Cyril and Methodius, but it's also St. Valentine's Day, and we're coming to you with our Catholic Lunch Break, where we catch up on everything Catholic in Houston. My name is Tim Mott. I'm going to be your host for today, and boy, do we have a show for you. We're going to start big, and we're going to go even bigger as the show progresses, with so many people here in our studio. Well, we've got our 3 Cristo Rey interns. We've got Carol, our super volunteer. We've got about 6 guests. I think 2 of them on the phone and 4 here in the studio. And so I'm not going to take too much of your time right now. We're going to jump right into it. Let's start with a prayer. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Remember, O most gracious Virgin Mary, that never was it known that anyone who fled to thy protection, implored thy help, or sought thine intercession was left unaided. Inspired by this confidence, I fly into thee, O Virgin of Virgins, my mother. To thee do I come, before thee I stand, sinful and sorrowful. O Mother of the Word incarnate, despise not my petitions, but in thy mercy hear and answer me. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. So, being as it is St. Cyril and Methodius Day, I mean St. Valentine's Day, I wanted to do like a bunch of Valentine shout-outs and everyone, say hi to your Valentine and do that kind of thing. But we're not going to have time for that. There's too many interviews. So, hey, all you guests, be thinking of someone. I'll give you like 5 seconds to give a shout-out. I just want to say hi to my wife, Rachel, who I hope is listening right now. I love you, honey, and you are the light of my life. How happy can I be here on the air? David, what's yours?
So my dear Michelle, thank you for being with me, and I love you too, and happy Valentine's Day.
Did I just remind you to get flowers?
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
you already took care of that. You're a producer. You got these things down.
Yeah. Okay. So today's a great day, Tim. So one of my mottos is go big or go home.
Go big or go home.
So today we're going big.
Today we are going big. That is right. And Carol, I know she's not on the microphone right now, but Carol brought in treats for us. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy St. Cyril and Methodius Day to you too. Okay. So just a quick recap of this last week. Since we catch up on everything Catholic in Houston, David and I, we worked 48 hours this week,
at least.
Okay, so Steps for Students was amazing. Saturday morning early at the Co-Cathedral, a 5K run walk for supporting Catholic schools. David and I were broadcasting from there, and in spite of the rain and the cold and the wind, there were thousands of runners there. It was absolutely amazing, and I hope you were listening that morning. If you were, great. I hope you were running. If you were, thanks again. You can still donate at steps4students.org. If you missed that opportunity, that donation link is going to be open, I think, through March 25th, if I remember right.
A few weeks, right.
Right, so you still got some time there. Later that day, we went to Sacco's and broadcasted from there, and we're selling our raffle tickets. By the way, this is your last chance. This is the last Catholic Lunch Break show of the car raffle, so I'll give you a raffle update in a minute. But at Sacco's, we had a fun time talking to George and Karina and all the others, Vicky, taking phone calls and selling tickets. There was a little friendly competition between Sacco's and St. Francis of Assisi, where we were last Thursday, St. Francis of Assisi Catholic Store in Northwest Houston. I do have to say, Janet at St. Francis did sell more tickets than Sacco's. So better luck next year to Sacco's, but everyone that bought tickets, you were a real winner.
Yeah, and shout out to Dina and Debbie that came out to help us out. So that's really great when our volunteers are able to come and support us, help us, and
they got some good pictures.
I know, and just be able to talk with potential listeners or people that have been listening. So shout out to them,
Dina and Debbie. Yeah, go look at our Facebook group, GRN Houston, on Facebook, and you'll see some of those wonderful pictures from Sacco's. I want to thank St. Francis of Assisi and Sacco's for donating 2 different statues as extra incentives for buying the car raffle tickets. So the St. Michael statue was really impressive. Karina brought it out to the table right as the person on the air, Jesse Romero, was talking about spiritual warfare. I was doing an air check, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this lines up perfectly with the St. Michael statue here. And then the Our Lady of Lourdes statue from St. Francis of Assisi, we did a mini drawing for that on Facebook Live, and the guy who won it was still standing there in the store, so you could see he was visibly moved.
He was.
God bless him.
Yes.
And then the parishes we were at. I was at St. Joseph, and you were at St. Edith Stein. Who was there with you?
Claudia and Tony. So thank you so much. Met some really great parishioners there. So Tim, ask me later about the definition of community, and I'll let you know because I saw it.
At St. Edith Stein.
Yes, I saw it.
Put that picture in the dictionary.
Yeah, exactly. So shout out to Claudia, Tony, potential volunteer Matt, waiting on that email. So great time.
And I want to give a shout out to Father Victor Perez, the pastor of St. Joseph and St. Stephen. Deacon Glenn, who I met. It sounds like you've got a great conversion story, man, and I mean it. I'm going to give you a call. We're going to get you on this show. Joni, who is Larry Massey's sister-in-law, I ran into her randomly, and she's like, Tim, you're here at St. Joseph. I'm like, yes, I am. And then there was Jose from St. Stephen's. He was the usher there. St. Stephen's was meeting at the St. Joseph building. I think there was some asbestos problem or something in the St. Stephen building, so I got to an extra mass there from another parish when I wasn't even expecting it. And then this morning, I got an email from Judith who said, hey, I forgot to buy my raffle tickets. Can I still do that? And the answer is yes. You can buy your raffle tickets right now at grnonline.com. Go to grnonline.com/raffle, and the sales, you have exactly 1 week.
Yeah,
1 week minus 6 minutes. It closes at noon next Monday. So this is the last show where we're going to be giving you that website to go buy your car raffle tickets. Okay, I'm going to hold this up for the camera here. If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook at GRN Online, you will see this wonderful 2022 Mercedes-Benz GLA 250. This is the car we are going to give away next week. And so you need to buy your tickets for this right now to support this radio station, keep us on the air, and you could win a great car. Comes with a bumper sticker pre-installed, right?
Exactly. The drawing's on February 25th. So next week on Friday, be listening around 7 a.m. So Joe and the crew and the gang will be broadcasting
and
that live.
We can announce that next week on our show because the drawing will be after that. But you got to get your tickets before our show next week because that's when the sales end.
Yep.
So go online right now at grnonline.com. It's $25 for one ticket, which is an amazing price for a Mercedes-Benz. But if you buy 4 tickets, you get one free. It's really 5 for $100.
Right.
So that's an extra discount if you buy 5 at once. So you can do that, grnonline.com. As a family here, the GRN family, which you are a part of, I wanted to give you a little sneak behind the scenes of kind of what our goal is, because it's not just about getting you that car. It's also about being a family and supporting each other. So our goal for this share-a-thon, or this car raffle, is to sell 229 tickets, an average of 229 tickets each week. And currently, we're exceeding that average right now. So we, at this, with 1 week to go, we're averaging 251 each week. So we're doing well, but that means that this last week we can't let up on it. We still need at least 200 in this last week to be able to hit our goal and make sure that we can be financially healthy through the next share-a-thon. So go buy your tickets now or come see us at one of the parishes we're going to be at this weekend. Those are going to be Holy Rosary in Midtown and Corpus Christi on the south side, inside the loop, or just outside the loop, inside the Beltway.
Near NRG Stadium.
Near NRG Stadium. That's a great way to look at it. So if you're looking for another church to visit, go to Holy Rosary Midtown or Corpus Christi near NRG this weekend, and we'll have the raffle tickets there for you. Last chance. Okay, sports report time, and then we can jump into our interviews. David, let's hear a Catholic high school sports report.
All right. Hey, Dave, the sports guy here, rolling out your Catholic high school sports report for the Houston area. So let's start with boys basketball. St. Thomas Eagles defeated St. John, the 23rd Lions. Straight Jesuit Fighting Crusaders won a close one over Alvin Yellow Jackets. St. Pius, the 10 Panthers, lost to Concordia Crusaders. Versailles Falcons lost to Woodland Warriors. Cristo Rey Lions defeated British Bulldogs.
Hey, congratulations.
And O'Connell Buccaneers lost to Grace Eagles. And now for girls basketball. Incarnate Ward Falcons defeated St. John, the 23rd Lions. Versailles Falcons defeated Emery Weiner Jaguars. St. Agnes Tigers defeated Kelly Bulldogs. St. Pius, the 10 Panthers defeated Incarnate Ward Falcons. Cristo Rey Lions defeated Emery Weiner Jaguars. Woo! And O'Connell Buccaneers lost to Grace Eagles. And that's a wrap of this week's high school sports report for the week of February 7th. Keep your radio tuned to AM 1430 for next week's recap of Houston's Catholic sports. And now back to you, Tim. So let me give a shout out. I went to a high school game on Friday and watched two former players play against each other. So shout out to Katie and shout out to Cameron.
Congratulations, especially Cristo Rey, guys. Yeah, you give a whoop if you want. Speaking of basketball, Father Preston Cantella is in the house. He's dropped by today to give us some hype for the upcoming Priest versus Seminarians basketball game. Father Preston, how you doing, man?
Doing good, Tim. Thank you.
Are you excited?
Super excited. There's been a lot of hype, a lot of planning going on, but it's exciting to have this event again for our 5th annual. Missed last year, obviously, but 2.5 months away.
Wow. Okay, so for those who haven't heard about it or may have forgotten for some reason, since 2 years ago, what are we talking about?
We are talking about the annual Priest versus Seminarian basketball game. It's going to be the 5th annual. It's priests here in the Archdiocese, religious and diocesan, and also then the Seminarians at St. Mary's Seminary that comprise of multiple dioceses. So that's the setup of the teams.
That kind of gives the Seminarians a little advantage, right?
Huge advantage.
Yeah, since they're drawn from more than one diocese.
Yeah, they have a gym they can go to every day and practice whenever they want.
Oh, I know. Father TJ, I ran into him at Steps for Students, and he was like, man, we're not practicing enough.
No, we're not.
Oh, you guys got to get on the ball.
I know, it's not looking good for us this year.
Oh, even though you're picking up some of the Seminarians from previous games. After they get ordained, they switch sides.
We have 2 previous MVPs of the game, David Michael Moses and Houston Okoma.
Oh, nice.
But we still have to play, though.
You still have to play.
Yes.
You got to get out there. I mean, they're going to get this nice fat parish life. They're going out to dinner at all the parishioners' houses. They're going to get fat and lazy, man.
That's what we're trying to work on.
You got to work on that. Okay, so why are we having this game? What is the point of having a Priest versus Seminarians basketball game?
Yeah, good question, Tim. The main point is, there's the game itself, but the bigger picture and the bigger vision is to promote priestly and religious vocations within the Archdiocesan of the Archdiocese of Galveston, Houston. Mm-hmm. So yes, it's a way that the young people, especially really all people, all Catholics, can see their priests, seminarians outside of the normal clerical attire and says, oh, he's out there playing basketball. It's like we're entering into their arena, into a young person's mind frame. Mm-hmm. And I know that's probably a struggle for many young people. Like, I don't relate to Father Preston because I always see him in the chasuble and he's just hearing confessions, and it's like, well, now you can see Father Preston or Father TJ, Father Nicholas Charisma, whoever it is, and like, oh wow, I like sports too. So that's the kind of the bigger picture here.
That's exactly right, because you can sometimes think of like a priest. We don't think of them as people, but when they're really people too. And you live this out. This is your day-to-day life, man. So how do you do you ever feel a disjunction there between your calling and your personhood? I mean, do you feel like they're one thing, or people recognize that?
I don't think people recognize that, but yes, I see it within myself. Like, these are gifts that God has given to me, and how is God calling me to share that with the community, with the people, building up the mystical body of Christ.
So, do you guys have a little bit of a rivalry going on with the seminary? I mean, I think that the series is tied 2-2 right now.
Yes, Tim, that's a great point here. There is a rivalry, a very friendly, competitive rivalry with our the seminarians who was soon to be brother priests, but and that's something also a very important point to consider is displaying authentic, genuine, healthy competitiveness within the basketball game. That, hey, we're going to get after it, but we're also going to shake hands and we're going to glorify God after the game.
Yeah, it's a good, clean game, right?
That's right.
Very few fouls.
I know.
Fouling in the name of love.
Fouling in the name of love.
In the name of love. There you go. You got to show those seminarians who's boss. Like they're it's just too taken care of there at the seminary.
Yes.
Okay, so are you playing this year?
Well, I'm participating. I'm going to be dressing out, but I'm more of the water boy this year.
The water boy. Okay, so hopefully we get some of your parishioners out there. What's your parish?
I am in Sweeney at Our Lady of Perpetual Help, and West Columbia at St. John the Apostle. So I serve 2 small parishes out there. We are chartering a bus from St. John's that Friday afternoon. They're going to leave about 4 o'clock and come up for the tailgate. And so I encourage all of you out there listening and spearhead a bus, charter a bus if you're coming, even if you're local. I mean, it's always great to build that community and ride up and support your whether priest or seminary. Actually, just support the priest. Read out.
Just
okay.
read out. Yeah.
Just
okay.
read out.
So that's actually a great transition to kind of what this evening is going to look like. So where is it? When is it? What are the activities you got planned?
All right, so some background here. The first 3 years were at Strake Jesuit. We outgrew that. And then the fourth year, we were at Del Mar Fieldhouse with HISD. And this year, we're going to be at Rice University. Seating capacities anywhere between 5,900 and 6,000. And so tickets go on sale Saturday, March 19th at noon, HoustonVocations.com. That's the Solemnity of St. Joseph. So just remember St. Joseph.
And the Sarah Club's going to be sitting there waiting to scalp those tickets. So you get in there and get your ticket. Wait, tickets? Like, how much are they?
Okay, this is unofficial.
Unofficial, okay.
Because
so this is
Father
just like
Richard,
a ballpark
this
here.
is ballpark right now. We're still, so don't, Father Richard's, his office is running this, but we're in contact. So there's going to be courtside seating.
Oh,
so,
nice.
There's going to be 36 seats running roughly around $125 for the courtside only.
Okay, so there's only 36 of those.
Only 36, that's it. Okay, so then they're going to range from $12 down to $3.
Perfect.
So it's
good for everybody.
Yes.
Good for everybody, but still, you want to get ready. So put that date on your calendar,
Yes.
March 19th, and we're going to sell those tickets out pretty quick.
Yes, yes. So buy the tickets. Invite your neighbors,
So
strangers.
then the game is going to be late in April.
Friday, April the 29th is the game. 7 p.m. Rice University is going to be tailgating out there. Different groups, hopefully coming out to share their gifts of cooking and food and fellowship.
Now,
and,
it's not in Lent this year.
It's not in Lit, so it will be a feast of meat.
Feast of meat
Yes.
at the tailgating at
Yes.
Rice University?
At Rice University, so we're organizing all that, and Father Richard and his office are, in contacts with Rice and whatnot. But also, as you know, we lost Father Ryan Staways last year, so we're going to definitely
Pray for his soul.
Yes, pray for his soul, and remember him, honor him, and get his parents out there. And a great brother priest. And,
What a witness that guy was.
Definitely
Is.
Yes, yes.
And his family, too. I love his mom, Susan.
Yes.
Shout out to you, Susan, if you're listening right now.
Yeah.
So I've got an idea. So, Father, how about the MVP named after him? I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
Just let it soak,
Yes.
and then I'll be quiet. Okay.
Yeah, David's a basketball coach in his own right, so he's got a great ideas about this stuff. We were walking through the basketball court there at Rice, and
Yes.
a funny thing, I noticed being Rice University, in addition to their basketball wins, the banners up on the wall, they also put their Nobel Prize laureates up there. The Pulitzer Prize. Okay, this is Rice for you, but anyway, it's a great stadium.
Yes.
It's very, very nice there.
Yes, yeah, should be good. Very intimate. Be loud.
And it'll be great to have it packed out with Catholics.
Yes.
That's a witness.
That's going to be a witness. It's very awesome to see, everybody making the sign of the cross, before the game, and that moment of prayer. It's just, especially in these times, just to see people come together again. So
Is Cardinal going to be there?
I don't know. Father Richard is talking with him. I don't know if his.
Yes, it depends if the schedule works out. Yeah, of course. Okay, so April 29th is the game at Rice University. The tickets go on sale March 19th.
At noon.
At noon. They'll be sold out
Yes.
by 1 o'clock.
Yes.
So put that date on your calendar, March 19th. You can get your tickets at HoustonVocations.com. HoustonVocations.com. And again, the priests are the martyrs, right?
We are the martyrs, and we might be martyred this year.
But you're going to red out that whole
We're
stadium.
going to red out. Red out. Red out. It's not white out. It's not blue out. Red out.
Now, David, I do have a representative from the Seminarians team on the schedule to be on the show, so Father's not going to get a monopoly on the airtime here.
Oh, come on. But, Father, I am worried. We got that report from Father TJ, and he said that the seminarians from here walloped the seminaries up in Wisconsin, Ohio.
Yeah, just
I'm a little worried, Father.
know.
They're getting some good practice in
I
there.
had some big bets planned for this, but I'm not sure now.
hedging that bet.
Well, if you do miss that window on buying your tickets, you can listen to our live radio broadcast.
Yes,
So, yeah.
it will be live streamed by you guys.
Get the
and so,
GRN app,
yeah.
go on our Facebook page. You know, we're going to be there. We're going to be broadcasting. It's going to be great. We got Patrick Kinnick to come do the play-by-play again. So, again, HoustonVocations.com is the main website to remember. Thank you very much, Father Preston.
Thank you, Tim.
For joining us here on the
Yes.
Catholic Lunch Break.
God bless you all.
Would you bless our audience? I always ask the priest to do this. Would you give us a priestly blessing?
Yes, the Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
May Almighty God bless you, the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Go in peace.
You are listening to the Catholic Lunch Break, and coming up next, Pro-Life in Houston with 40 Days for Life, Teresa Ensley. So stay tuned. This is AM 1430, KSHJ, part of the Guadalupe Radio Network.
Southeast Houston Cardiology is a proud sponsor of your Catholic radio station, and the doctor is in. Southeast Houston Cardiology has been serving patients with heart disease and vascular disease with up-to-date, compassionate, and comprehensive care for more than 20 years. Southeast Houston Cardiology has 2 locations, Webster and Pasadena. You can contact them online at southeasthoustancardiology.com or 281-338-4004.
Houston Vocations is inviting high school girls to an event titled A Date with Jesus on Valentine's Day, Monday, February 14th at the Co-Cathedral Center from 6 to 9 p.m. The cost is only $15, and you will share a beautiful evening of community, prayer, delicious food, and interaction with religious sisters and consecrated women. What a better way to spend Valentine's Day with the one who loves you the most. For more information, go to the website houstonvocations.com/events.
KSHJ is sponsored by the Knights of Columbus Rangel Agency. For over 130 years, the primary mission of the Knights of Columbus has been to provide financial security to their members and their families, offering life insurance, long-term care insurance, disability income insurance, and annuity products. The Knights of Columbus are your shield for life. To learn more, find your agent, or discuss agent career opportunities in the Southeast Texas area, please contact General Agent Tony Rangel at 281-931-9100.
Do you have a heart for praying against human trafficking? Please join us, men, women, and teens with Women of Worship Ministries, Friday, February 18th from 7 to 9 p.m. at the Catholic Charismatic Center. It's 9th annual prayer service, Rosary, Divine Mercy, Eucharistic Adoration, and prayer to St. Josephine Bakhita, the patron saint against human trafficking. For more information, please go to cccgh.com. That is cccgh.com.
You're listening to the Catholic Lunch Break on AM 1430, where we catch up on everything Catholic in Houston. My name is Tim Mott, and I am really pleased to welcome back to our studio Teresa Ensley for our second recurring segment of Pro-Life Houston. Teresa, welcome back.
Thank you so much, Tim. It's been very exciting to start off with 40 Days for Life in January, and just getting a chance to meet hundreds of people around the world and that are actually leading campaigns locally outside of the abortion facilities and outside of other locations even.
I was meeting some of those
area.
too. Yeah. And at Annunciation just a few weeks ago, I was there, and James Dyson was signing people up for the 40 Days for Life campaign.
Yes, it begins March the 2nd, and James is one of the local leaders who is outside of one of a very, very challenging location. So I highly recommend go out there and pray and pack your patience, because it's very helpful.
Great. Well, we're going to get into that. But I want to bring you in. This is the second time you're coming for our Pro-Life Houston segment, because I wanted to do in 2022 different recurring segments. Our audience, if they've been listening, they will know this. We've already had Father Reynolds on twice for our Smells and Bells segment on the liturgy. We've got our vocation segments that's going really well. That one's going to be, I believe, next month. And then I've got some with Father Cedric Pasenga coming up. This is a really fun thing. So this is a chance for us to dive deep into what's pro-life in Houston. And because you're so well connected there, and you've got some radio experience with Joe McLean, you've been working with Houston Coalition. Now you're with 40 Days for Life, and your family's really involved in the Houston Catholic scene. I thought you were a great person to do this. So who do you have for us today?
So I am very, very excited, because today's guest is Angie Pimetto, Director of the Office of Young Adult and Campus Ministry of the Archdiocese of Galveston, Houston.
Hey, Angie, welcome to Catholic Lunch Break.
Hey, thanks, guys. Glad to be here.
Angie is the director of the Young Adult and Campus Ministries here in our Archdiocese of Galveston, Houston. And so, Angie, I know you've been on the show before, but thank you for letting us call you up again.
Yeah, no problem. I'm going to wait for the young adult segments to start coming up on the radio. So you'll have to add me to that list there, Tim.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. Hey, David, can you check on the audio? I think Angie's not being pumped through Teresa's headphones, so if you could check on that. So, Angie, Teresa tells me that you have a Catholic bioethics for young adults that's going on right now. Can you tell us a little introduction about that series? What is that?
Yeah, well, this is a series that the Pro-Life Office has been offering for quite a while. So they've offered the Catholic bioethics around the diocese. But this is the first time we've paired up with them to offer it specifically for young adults. So it started last Monday. We'll have another session tonight, and there'll be 2 more sessions through the month of February here, just once a week. And each week we kind of dive into some of these issues that are facing just the pro-life in general. We start with the very beginning of just how do you determine if a decision is morally good or not, and it goes in from there into some of the more specific questions about abortion, about sexuality, about in vitro fertilization and reproductive technologies, and some of the other more just very confusing topics that are out there right now.
Wow.
And you have an excellent speaker lined up for leading this. Can you tell us a little bit about her?
Yeah, so our speaker is, her name is Julie Dano Demarest, and she is a theology teacher from St. Thomas High School, and I think she's been doing these classes with Julie Fritsch from the Pro-Life Office for quite a while. So at least what I saw last week, she just dives right in. She's very familiar with all the topics, and she's just been going, again, starting from the very beginning of just how do we determine what is ethically correct or not. She just laid a really great baseline last week, and from there, I think we're going to be able to go real deep with some of these topics. So.
This is huge because in my working with the public and just watching the kind of the demographics of the pro-life movement, you see a bit of a split between, or not just in the pro-life movement, but like in theology in general, the church living in general. There's a kind of a split between like the old guard and then the young people, and there's completely different ways of encountering information and forming those opinions and really becoming moral people. And so how are you approaching this differently for young people than you would for, like, say, the general public and all demographics?
Yeah, well, actually, I feel like there's not that much of a difference in how you actually present the topic because, young adults they're still adults, so we're able to kind of go into it. I think just having it just for the young adults, so it does give them, because each class there's a time for small group discussions. And I think when young adults, like, if they were to come to one of the normal classes and just be maybe like the one young adult amongst a group of older adults, sometimes for a young adult that can feel intimidating, and they might not be able to share, might not feel like they can answer the questions that they need to ask, So I think the reason why we wanted to have this just for this demographic was so that they would feel comfortable just to be with their peers and to be able to have the discussions that need to happen, ask the questions that they need to ask, with no pressure, no, whatever they might perceive as a judgmental eye from our older, adult friends.
Yeah. Even if it's not meant, it can sometimes be taken that way. Of course, yeah. I was a young adult until last January, and so I understand.
Last January.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Tim.
I know. I aged out of Cafe Catholica, but it's okay. What kinds of questions are you finding from young adults? What kind of questions are they bringing to this topic?
Well, again, we just had our first class last week, so I think it's still a little too early to tell the real deep questions. But I have found it interesting. So we have about 15 people who signed up for the class, and almost all of them are Hispanic young adults. And so to me, that's been interesting, too, to realize that that demographic in particular, for some reason, this spoke to them. And I think even just last week we were talking about some of the basics of the human sexuality piece. And it just seemed very clear that there were just still a lot of confusion about the whole NFP versus contraception. even into the whole, how do you discern, like if you're dating someone, whether this person, you should marry them or not, things like that. So it was really good, I think, to just be with this group and to have them be able to go back to those very beginning things before diving into the more complicated issues that, about abortion and in vitro, reproductive technologies and maternal health during pregnancy, all of these things.
Well, and I think it's a great opportunity to learn more about the faith and to be really articulate about sharing, not just like, this is my opinion, but this is what the church teaches. And to have someone who is so well versed as Julie to be able to present it, I think is a phenomenal resource for the young adults in the Houston area. So I'm really grateful that you're doing this. As far as different topics, though, as well, like, are you planning to do it again? Because I understand you can't sign up for this one at this point. It's a progressive
already started,
series. Yeah. And so as they do their progression and they're having these deep conversations and having the courage to show up and talk about this and learn what the truth of the faith is, what other opportunities do you think will be coming forward for young adults to continue to meet and learn their faith?
Yeah, well, I will just say, if anyone is listening to this, and if they are interested in, if they're a young adult and they do want to sign up, please have them contact me. My information is on the Archdiocesan website. So if you contact me this afternoon, it might be possible to get you connected to the session 2 tonight.
Oh, okay.
We have been recording online the sessions. So we could get someone caught up at this point. So again, if there is just, a couple people out there who are listening, please contact me to get you connected, and hopefully we can get you signed up for this session. But yeah, I think this was kind of a trial run to see if there was enough interest, to see if this is something we want to pursue going forward. And I think at least the 15 that we have, I think it's a great start point. I think there's obviously plenty more young adults out there who need to know this information. So there is a hope to be able to do this possibly annually, like once a year, be able to do this just for young adults again, possibly about the same time next year, and be able to continue to, even if it's just the 15 or so each time, each time we do it, that's 15 more people who are going to be able, like you said, Teresa, to be able to articulate it, to be able to understand and be able to defend it a little better, just in general, in common, interactions with your coworkers and friends. I think these topics pop up on social media all the time, and to have young adults who can speak, like you said, intellectually about it is going to be important,
Let's give the audience an example of just one of these topics. I know you can't take them through the whole series like in the next 5 minutes, but like say on the contraception issue, what's the kind of question that we ask about contraception, and what's the kind of answer that you give?
Oh, see, I should have been taking notes last week. I didn't.
Well, you haven't finished the course yet, so of course.
No, we have done the contraception piece, and it was really well done. So, and I think that question, a lot of the I guess the nuances of the contraception and NFP question is the whole, how does a couple discern whether or not it's okay to abstain from, to abstain because they're trying to prevent pregnancy, or to either engage in to pursue for pregnancy. So I think those are some of the kind of the minute little, because it's all about our, what did she call it? The end justifies the means, right?
Yes. The end does not justify the means.
Yeah.
Yes.
The means have to be good, and the end has to be good. So,
Right.
like the end of having a pregnancy, that has to be followed through. Everything that goes toward that has to be good. So there's no contraception. It has to be open to life, faithful, fruitful, all of that. But when they're also trying to discern, in the end, if the end is like, if the mother is experiencing a lot of mental health issues, like postpartum depression, if she's got real anxiety, like if the mother is just not able, and she's already, like there was one example where it was a mother who had all these mental health issues, but she also already had 5 children. Should that person should they be pursuing pregnancy or not? That is, a really real question.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, how do we take our faith and apply it to that situation and realize that it's okay in that situation to put the mother's health above having another child, to be able to, so that the mother can then care for the 5 children that she already does have, instead of being, taken to the point where she's not able to fully care for possibly a 6th child. So it gets it's kind of in the weeds there a little bit, where it gets a little bit messy and a little bit like, and maybe that each person is up. You have to kind of discern that as you go. So not to say that in that situation that's the only right answer, because I think there's other ways to interpret that. But to be able to, again, to have those conversations and to be able to help the young adults be able to say, like, how would you go about discerning whether or not, this is a moral act or an immoral act. This is going to get me closer to God and closer to heaven, or take me further away.
And we have that.
So those are the sorts of things we're talking about.
And we have the beautiful gift of Humana Vitae that's been given to us by the church that we can reference for those listeners that want to read up about this or just curious on your own time. But yeah, I would highly, highly recommend for the young adults, please check this out, because the background of Julie, with her blog and her teaching and her theology degree and her, it's great. It's a great resource. And I do think it's also interesting, as you said, that there are a lot of Hispanics that are willing to talk about this in the particular group that you have right now. But I really want to encourage, we need to have everyone should be well versed in the sharing of their faith. And this is such an important issue at this time to talk about things that can seem so controversial in basic conversations, like the issue of contraception, which we know contraception is never the answer. But I'm glad that as you're addressing it, you're actually getting into the weeds of when is it appropriate to space children.
Yeah, in the weeds is really where, I did use another metaphor, the rubber meets the road. That's where the decisions are made. That's where the moral actions happen. That's where holiness is found, in the weeds there. And we never actually get there if we just go on Sunday mornings to Mass and we receive the Eucharist, we're receiving that grace, but we're not like diving into and exercising our minds and our wills into that area. And so this kind of program that you're doing, Angie, is exactly what's going to make that happen for people. And so I think that's it's huge that you're doing this. So you said that if people can get a hold of you, like right now, like in the next hour or so, you might be able to get them in on this current series.
Yeah, I mean, even until like 4:30 today.
Okay, so if people want to act,
anyone wants to reach out.
Yeah, if they want to act fast on it, where do they go?
So you can go to archgh.org/YACM, and that will have our my contact info. You can email, and you can also just email YACM@archgh.org, and that will get to me. And so just feel free to reach out, and we'll get you on the list. And if not, like again, we are hoping to continue this going forward, hopefully just once a year. And like I said, also there are other Catholic bioethics classes that happen around the Archdiocese throughout the whole year. But again, it is just harder for young adults sometimes, to be in a group that's not just for the young adults. So that will be a little more challenging. It's definitely not impossible though. So
do you recommend singles to come?
There will be plenty of Oh, absolutely, yeah. Singles, married, whatever state you're in. So, yeah, this is going to be a great program to continue, like you guys are both saying, to get that base, to be able to have some understanding of what the church teaches and why, and to be able to hopefully defend that to others through as you're living your life. Yeah,
so if you've ever wondered why the church rejects contraception, this is the place to go, especially if you get confused when a priest preaches about it in the sermon. You're like, I've got so many questions. This is the place where your questions are going to be answered. archgh.org/YACM. And I encourage you to reach out to Angie today, even if you can't get into this current series. You want to be on that list for the future. You do have a list that you're going to make future announcements about, right?
Oh, sure. Yeah, no, we have a monthly newsletter. That's where we keep all of our young adults up to date on what's going on month to month. But yeah, if you're interested in this class, I mean, let me know as soon as you're interested, and I'll save a list for next year. If we'll get you connected this year, that'd be great.
And what's great too
always
is
feel free to let me know.
And what's great too is if you're someone that's like, I really want to get to know Angie first. Angie is extremely personable. She's great. She's very easy to talk to, and there are Cafe Catholica events happening all throughout the Archdiocese all year round. So if you're like, let me meet her first, let me see what kind of opportunities they have, you will not be disappointed, and you will have this great network to build the faith and to be that peer support in a world that can sometimes make you feel like you're the one that's crazy, even though you're Catholic, because you're Catholic. And you know what? You're not, because the Catholic faith is rooted in truth in Christ, and Christ is the one who is the answer for all of our questions. So I highly recommend, check out the young adult group with the Archdiocese and contact Angie, whether it's for this class or for Cafe Catholica or for any of their other programs.
Cool. Thank you so much, Angie, for joining us on the Catholic Lunch Break. It's a pleasure to have you back.
Yeah, thanks, guys, and keep up all the good work, and it's just great to be with you. So thank you for this opportunity.
Okay.
Thank you, Angie.
God bless you, and we'll talk again. Teresa, this was perfect. This is exactly what I'm hoping to achieve with this Pro-Life in Houston segment. My goal is to make this big city of Houston feel like a small town. Like, we just connected our audience to Angie, like a person that they can call right now at archgh.org/YACM and get to meet her in person. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is what I'm trying to do here, because you don't get that on a lot of the national programs. They have to think about multiple cities and millions of people that are listening. We get to focus just on the Catholic community in Houston. So thank you very much for doing this with me.
Yes, it's definitely a joy. And one other thing I want to make sure the audience knows about, if you know someone who's not really thinking about contraceptives right now, but they are post-abortive themselves, if they've gone through whatever they've gone through, and they went through an abortion and they regret their abortion and they need healing, I know that the Rachel's Vineyard retreat is coming up on February the 18th through the 20th.
This Thursday.
Yes. So if you are suffering from an abortion and you're listening right now and you're like, I don't know if the church will welcome me back. You know what? The church welcomes you back with open arms. And the key is that we need to always ask for forgiveness. And all of us are looking for forgiveness for the sins that we've committed. None of us is perfect. But if you are struggling with the emotional trauma of having an abortion, I highly, highly recommend Rachel's Vineyard, because I've heard so many good things from post-abortive women and men who have gone through that program. So that's February 18th through the 20th, and you can register by calling Julie Fritsch, who's the Director of Pro-Life Activities of the Archdiocese, at 713-741-8728.
Now, you'll need to give that phone number a couple more times.
713-741-8728. Again, that's if you want to sign up for the Rachel's Vineyard Retreat for post-abortion healing, call 713-741-8728.
Okay. Well, that does it for our Pro-Life in Houston segment, and we're going to get a sounder for that eventually. I'm gonna take some time and actually make something creative, to sound effect. It'll
awesome.
Be a logo for you. It'll be great. So, Teresa Ensley from 40 Days for Life, thank you very much, and we'll do it again next month.
Sounds amazing.
Okay, you're listening to the Catholic Lunch Break, and when we come back, Sacred Art Live. There are Catholic artists that are underground right now and are being uncovered by Larry Massey, the president of Scanlon Foundation. We're going to talk to some of them when we come back on the Catholic Lunch Break on AM 1430.
Hi, I'm Claudia Garza. I am an insurance agent with Farmers Insurance, serving West Houston and Katy. And I am a proud sponsor of this Guadalupe Radio Network station. Catholic radio is truly food for my soul. I sponsor 1430 AM because I want to help evangelize. You can reach me at my office, 713-780-4841, 713-780-4841.
Is your marriage tough enough to withstand the tidal wave of evil things attacking it every day? Get serious about divorce-proofing your marriage with the Tough Love series. 4 practical and spiritual workouts for the life and health of your marriage, starting on February 10th, presented by the Stella Maris Center. For more information and to register, visit us at ilovestellamaris.org. That's ilovestella.org.
Hi, I'm Joel Matthews, business owner and partner with TRO CPA. I'm a proud sponsor of this Guadalupe Radio Network station, and I think you should be too. As Catholics, I believe we should put our money where our faith is. And as a CPA, I help small business owners make wise decisions about their money every day. You can find out more about what I do and why I sponsor KSHJ by going to my website, trocpa.com. That's trocpa.com.
The St. Justin Martyr Parish CCE team is having a fundraiser, and there's no better place than swinging by the CCE baseball dinner on Friday, February 25th at 6:30 p.m. in the parish hall. Buy a ticket for $10 and get a dinner plate, just like at the baseball park. There's also a raffle of 8 baseballs signed by the Rally Nuns. Come and support the St. Justin Martyr Parish CCE team. For more information, go to the church website, sjmtx.org.
You're listening to the Catholic Lunch Break on AM 1430, where we catch up on everything Catholic in Houston. This is your last chance to win a Mercedes-Benz and support Catholic radio. Go to grnonline.com. The next time we have this show, the raffle will be over. So go ahead now, grnonline.com/raffle. Welcoming back to the Catholic Lunch Break, Larry Massey, one of my favorite people ever, the president of the Scanlon Foundation. Larry, so good to see you again. How you doing?
Yeah, it is such a beautiful day to be on Catholic radio.
Yes, that's the line. That's your line, man.
Also, it's my 22 and a half anniversary in that on Valentine's Day, 1999, I asked Susan to marry me.
Congratulations. I think you came out better in that deal.
So, anyway, so it's a shout out to her. And so 6 months later, we got married at St. Vincent de Paul.
Oh, short engagement then. 6 months.
Well, we'd been dating for 4 years before that.
And you're like, now is the time. Now is the time. Oh, okay. Susan's wonderful. So shout out to Susan. Thank you so much, Larry. Happy St. Cyril and Methodius Day.
You bet. And so I'm excited today. This is something probably new and different in that you and I have always talked about sacred music, and then we've had the Catholic poets, with Sarah Cortez, and so we were starting to try to round out the rest of the Catholic culture of Houston, and so I've been working for years on trying to find a sacred artist, and it's been a little hard.
I mean, there's lots of artists out there, but you're looking for a specific kind of artist.
Well, I'm looking for those that are creating inspired work that, give me a good St. Michael or a good saint, or Jesus, Sacred Heart of Jesus, or Immaculate Heart of Mary. I mean, give me some of those images.
Yeah.
And so I over the past 5-6 years, I've kind of assembled a group of 4. I met the one I've known the longest is Bill Stidham, who is on the line with us.
Hey, Bill Stidham, welcome. Do we have the phone connected here?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, welcome, Bill. You're on the Catholic Lunch Break talking to all of Houston.
That's a huge honor. I'm talking to you from San Miguel de Allende, Mexico, on Valentine's Day, no less.
Nice. So how long have you known Larry?
I met Larry in 1985. And at the University of Texas, I was involved with the fraternity there, and Larry was our alumni coordinator, and we started a fast friendship. And we've known each other that long, and we really kind of had a huge gap in between where we didn't communicate much. And Larry could probably do a better job of explaining how we got reconnected.
So in 2006, Bill painted a John Paul II, and it's a beautiful painting, and which I called him one day and I said, "Do you still have that, the original? I'd like to buy it." And he said, "Well, I've been saving it for a special person, and I think that's you." And so I bought it. That original painting now hangs in Linkley Mansion at University of St. Thomas.
Oh, nice.
In their dining room. And it is beautiful. It looks great. So it's a fabulous painting of John Paul II with his Sacred Heart, and so then Bill and I, started talking, and Bill's kind of made his fortune painting basically other kind of rock stars and stuff like that,
like portraits of rock stars.
Yeah, and But now he's pivoting toward another type of star, and that is the saints.
Oh, I can see a lot of similarities there. Rock stars, saints. So, Bill, how does this play out in your mind? Like, is this like a continuity or a discontinuity for you?
Well, I think obviously, like, God's been working through me my entire life to get to this one particular point where I'm going to be actually hopefully have the opportunity to paint what I always kind of had in my own heart, which would be spiritual imagery, a spiritual iconic imagery. And for a number of reasons, it rests very deeply in my heart, but I really think that right now that people more than ever need to be reinforced or reminded of this spirit in everyday life. So that's what I'm trying to capture with these paintings. And I painted iconic, I've painted Jesus, Immaculate Heart of Mary, St. Michael, Padre Pio, St. Jude, and a couple of other surprises we're going to have on Saturday.
So also, 2.5 years ago, I go to a University of St. Thomas event, and there sitting at my table is this, at the time he was a senior, his name Al Sauls, and I said, "Hey Al, nice to meet you, I'm Larry Massey. What do you do?" And he says, "Well, I'm an art major." I said, "Well, I'm trying to collect great art. Can you paint me something?" Well, he paints this beautiful Madonna and Child, and we've been like buddies ever since.
Yes, that's the way to Larry's heart. And Al, you're joining us here in the studio. Welcome to the Catholic Lunch Break.
Thank you so much for having me.
So glad to have you here. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from originally?
I'm originally from Houston.
From Houston? So you're a native here.
Yeah, I'm a native
Wonderful.
Houston. Yeah, but I actually moved to Fresno now. So
okay, so you moved to Fresno from Houston.
Yes.
Fresno, Texas.
Fresno, Texas.
No, because that's basically the same area. I mean, it's still here. It was funny for me moving from California and saying, wait, there's a Pasadena, there's a Fresno. Where am I? And then to get on 59 and it says, Cleveland.
Right.
Like, why are you telling me how far it is to Cleveland? Oh, no, it's Cleveland, Texas. Okay. Yes, but anyway, so Al, what kind of stuff do you paint?
Actually, I paint the same things, more spiritual works. I love really works about Christ and everything else, but I actually like the stories. I'm really interested in the stories. And that's what's so much important to me is the story of everything. So.
Nice. So when Larry got commissioned something from you, like, what was your reaction?
I was surprised. I really was surprised because I was so happy to get a chance to meet him and everything, get a chance to talk to him about work and stuff. And it was just great to see someone actually interested in the work, that I'm doing.
Yeah. So have you met Bill yet?
Yes, of course. Yeah, we're actually close. We're good friends. We became good friends too. So.
Great, excellent. So now, what's happening this week that's bringing all of you guys together?
So what we're doing Saturday night at University of St. Thomas, it'll be in the Jerebeck Activity Center on the second floor, but I kept looking for a museum, an art museum in Houston to do this, and I kept waiting for someone, and finally I said, we're going to do it ourselves. And so we're going to have a Sacred Art live show with 4 artists. The artists will be there, which makes the art come alive.
Okay, yeah.
And it's going to be, probably about, north of 50 to 100 pieces displayed. And there'll be some of the art will be there for sale.
Okay.
And then also there'll be different the prints, G clay, and then the originals. But it's just going to be for fun. I mean, it's a
community building kind of thing.
Definitely, and it's similar to the way we built the Houston Catholic Literary Arts with the poets and stuff. We found those and built them. We're trying to do this now with people who are wanting to do inspired art, Catholic inspired art, and so we've also connected Kate Capato, who was trained in Florence, Italy, and she's driving in from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, with her art.
Kate Capato.
Kate Capato, who I've bought one of her originals. I said I need to buy it about several years ago. I said I need to buy it before it gets too expensive. But so she's coming in, and then we recently met Paul Latino, another University of St. Thomas grad from 2003, and I was buying his art at auctions at galas.
Now, I've talked to him. His daughter and mine were in the same school play, and so we were standing in the lobby, and I was like, hey, who are you? And he's like, oh, I'm Paul Latino. And I'm like, oh, so we turns out we were running in the same circles here with Adore Ministries and Scanlon, and to come to find out that your buying his art actually kind of stimulated him to do more of it.
Right. He was doing it kind of as a hobby, but it's really, great. So what we've found is these 4 artists who are outstanding artists, and they're young, and nothing's better than inspired art. And so we now, I'll commission Bill to do something, I'll commission Al to do something, we'll do them as gifts for bishops and stuff. I mean, it's just been a wonderful way to get this art. We're trying to get more of this sacred art out in homes, and I will say that at the Scanlon office, I mean, you walk in, we're looking at getting a bigger office because we need more walls.
Because you need more art. I mean, you've got more art, you need more walls.
Yeah, we need more walls.
Okay, well, we're coming up on the end of the show here, and I don't want to shortchange anybody. Bill, you mentioned that you had some surprises coming up this Saturday, so I don't give away the surprise. But what can people expect when they come to the art show?
Well, I'm really looking forward to reaching out and touching these people and having them see all this beautiful artwork we're going to display and sell. Percentage of it's going to go to the students there at St. Thomas, the art students. But we're also going to have music at the event, which I think is going to add to the environment. So you're going to go in there and you're going to feel the power of the Holy Spirit, which is rarer than you think in these days. So you're actually going to be able to feel it. And that's what I'm looking most forward to, is like not only meeting the people, but just seeing the reaction when they see the artwork,
Al, I wanted to ask you, as a painter, when someone's coming to an art show, and you're going to be there to talk with them, how do you want them to approach the art? How do you want them to approach you? What kinds of questions, what kinds of interactions are you looking for?
I want their original reaction. I want them to kind of give me feedback, because I think that's important. I mean, art actually has to speak to the person that's actually seeing and looking at it. So that's very important to me. I just want them to have they enjoy themselves and look at the artwork and just come back with me.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Larry, what would a success look like this Saturday for you? How do you know it's going to work?
Well, we want several hundred people there, and but you have to RSVP to get in.
Okay, how do they do that?
So it's sacredartlive.org. And so you go to that website, sacredartlive.org, and make sure you RSVP to the art show, because we're going to be like Studio 54. You got to be on the list.
Were you intentionally punting on Sacred Heart?
Sacred Art.
It's sacredartlive.org.
Correct.
Larry Massey, thank you so much. Bill Stidham and Al Sauls, that's a pleasure. I look forward to seeing your art this Saturday. And you, listener, I want to see you there as well at the Scanlon Room at the University of St. Thomas this Saturday, but RSVP for free at sacredartlive.org right now. Thank you very much for listening to another Catholic Lunch Break. We had a great Pro-Life in Houston segment with Teresa Ensley, and you heard the hype about the Priest versus Seminarians basketball game from Father Preston. So come back next week for another Catholic Lunch Break. And until then, stay Catholic, Houston, and may God richly bless you.